of the most interesting developments in the 2022 election cycle is the realization by the Democrats that they may not be able to win elections openly and fairly. We just saw, for example, Larry Sabato's operation at the University of Virginia move 11 seats away from the Democrats towards the Republicans in their analysis of what's happening in the election. We've seen poll after poll that shows Biden, in some cases, down at 33% approval, which would be catastrophic and would lead to probably the largest Republican majority since 1920 in over 100 years. So the Democrats, who apparently have given up on solving inflation, solving higher prices for gasoline, solving higher prices for food, solving the problem of the open border, solving the difficulty of crime in our cities, Democrats have a new technique. They're going to use the courts to knock people off the ballot. This is a technique that's used in Iran, it's used in Russia, it's used in China. Don't give people a choice. There are already 4 House members who've had lawsuits filed, and Senator Ron Johnson in Wisconsin has had 3 lawsuits filed. And the basic claim is that if they didn't say the right things on January 6th, they were guilty of inciting an insurrection. Now, an insurrection is a deliberate effort to replace the government, usually implying the use of the force of arms. There is a provision in the Constitution that people who have incited an insurrection are not eligible to hold office. However, that was adopted immediately after the Civil War and was a reference to Southerners who had been openly in rebellion fighting a war. It had nothing to do with what you happened to say in a speech or what you happened to say on the floor of the House or Senate. But they're trying to stretch this rule. So they're suggesting, for example, that Senator Johnson, who got, I think, over 1,200,000 votes in his last campaign, shouldn't even be allowed on the ballot. They're suggesting that Marjorie Greene, who got 269,000 votes in 2020, shouldn't be allowed on the ballot. And this is going to be a fascinating case study. There are some 30 Republicans that may get sued by Democrats because they really are the party of lawyers. And they got lots of left-wing lawyers out there eager to go and file these suits. In a worst case, they will find that they've actually forced the Republicans to spend money on legal fees that they won't have available for the campaign. In the best case, they may find some courts that knock people off the ballot. Now, this is literally a technique that is more appropriate to a dictatorship than to a free society. But watch the newspapers, take a look at it. You're going to see over the next few weeks a serious effort, both by the January 6th committee, which has openly said they want to make referrals to the Justice Department, which they'll probably do right after Labor Day to lead to indictments against members who are running for re-election, and these various law cases around the country. It is an act of desperation. It's clearly anti-democracy, anti-popular will, and designed to allow the politicians to define who you and I are allowed to vote for. It is about as un-American as you can get. And I think it's worth your paying attention to because it's very real, and the Democrats are putting a lot of effort into it.